including Austin Griffith, our one and only homegrown boy. He's technically Wyoming, but we'll count it. And Nader Dabit, both super builders, or I should say BUIDLers. We've got a bunch of really important information to share with you regarding the BUIDL-a-thon. Our DevFolio partners will be here to share all of that information. Make your way to the Captain Ethereum stage now. You can also tune in. We're live streaming, so there's lots of ways to watch. Okay, you guys want to throw up my first slide there? There we go. We're going to get going. So we're 2 minutes behind, but so we're going to kind of try to move through things. We are historically terrible at keeping time. We always seem to go too long. So we're going to try to keep this to about an hour today, maybe a little over. After the kickoff is going to be bounty presentations by our sponsors. And so you want to stick around for that, because in the end, our sponsors are the ones who are actually funding ETHDenver. As you know, it's free to attend, and we don't, we have a kind of a hard non-extraction rule from our community. And our sponsors are generous and collaborative in helping us sustain this thing every year. So we're very grateful for that. So as BUIDLers, these bounties is how you get paid. So you definitely want to be paying attention to that. Also, it's great to connect with them after their talks. So they'll have mentors and community people here as well that you can connect with, so that your team can get assistance if you need it, or just, you know, make friends and build community. So welcome to BUIDLWeek. So BUIDLWeek, I'll say a couple of quick things about that, and I'm going to run through this really fast because I've only got a few minutes to do this. But BUIDLWeek is sort of the prelude, or the pre-game party, the tailgating party for ETHDenver. Now, why do we do BUIDLWeek? Well, we found that having really 2 days to create a project at a hackathon was just not enough. We basically found that people rush into town, they build really fast, and then there's just too much to do, too much to see, too many distractions, too many parties, and they couldn't get their projects done. So instead of having that as a problem, we expanded to BUIDLWeek. Now, we also wanted to give partners, non-partners, other communities the space to be able to come and host side events and do other things. We are not the arbiters of everything in Denver. We absolutely care about giving an open, permissionless space. So BUIDLWeek, you're going to find all sorts of things happening. In addition to team formation and workshops and all sorts of things BUIDL related, you're going to find a ton of things around town that you can get yourself involved in. Building community, making connections, learning, and in case of ETHDenver and BUIDLWeek here at the BUIDL Hub, all for free. So I'm John. I'm the SporkDAO founder and ETHDenver founder. We have an incredible team. This is not about me. I'm up here as the kind of spokesman for this collective event, which is hundreds of people that come around this to provide this space and place for you to express your creativity in a way that's meaningful for you. I'm also the founder of a project called Opolis, which is an employment platform for Web 2 and Web 3 workers. We're also going to be doing some fun announcements this week about bringing healthcare on-chain. So humane and on-chain, Opolis 2.0 is coming. And you can reach me at Pallerjohn on Twitter. So let's talk about the regenerates. The regenerates are our meme, if you will, or our characterization of all of the different characters that we've made up to this point. And we've made heroes out of them now. They've all got superpowers, but think like Voltron or Avengers. Like, we're actually taking it to the next level now. So we've got Whalepool and Ether Knight, Professor Gwei, Captain Ethereum, Sporkman, and Mighty Marmot. They're a ton of fun. Choose your regen, choose your hero, okay? So everybody can kind of pick who you like. You know, I happen to be wearing whale pool right now, which is an obvious parallel to, you know, who. But we memed all of it for fun. And, you know, these guys are out fighting the degenerates, I should say. And they're together, kind of like similar to Voltron, Regenerator. So this is the combination power of BUIDLer that creates the most awesome BUIDL projects. So again, just a lot of fun, a lot of memes. You don't need to read too much into it, but you can, if you want, read a lot into it, because we have a whole bunch of lore that we created around this that you'll be pleased to know that in the future we'll be kind of pulling on these strings and doing more with it. So if you haven't scanned it, scan it and check it out. It's kind of fun, or do other things. It's open source around here. So our ethos, as you should know, is we want to include as many people as we can in our big tent and blank canvas. We're the most creatively diverse community in Web3 by a long shot. We have free admission. Keep the economic barriers low. If you can get your butt to Denver, you can come and participate in learning and community with the best minds on the planet. Running into the likes of Austin and Nader, our BUIDLWeek heroes that are going to come up and give some pep talks. I mean, these guys have been in the trenches of doing these things. Where else do you get to run into people like them and others who can give that kind of insight? You just can't do it. Free swag and free food, subsidized childcare, and scholarships to try to help get people here if they can't afford it. The world's largest live-action Web3 experiment is SporkDAO. You can earn your Spork by submitting projects. You can stake your Spork, and then we got a big announcement at opening ceremonies coming up on Thursday, but you can actually get distributions in the form of actual money for your contributions to SporkDAO. We're legally a Colorado cooperative. That's the legal wrapper that we use for our DAO, and this is how we actually create this regenerative game. So let's go through just the general high-level calendar. We got BUIDLWeek that starts today. It goes through Wednesday. Technically, the whole thing's BUIDLWeek, but we really just call BUIDLWeek through Wednesday to be clear that is kind of the open source permissionless part of it. The main weekend starts on Thursday the 27th and goes through March 2nd at the Spork Castle, which is just next door. If you happen to go over there, you'll find that there's a wedding and bridal expo happening right now. That is not us. They're actually done pretty soon. They'll be done, I think, tomorrow, and then we build out over there. So you'll be able to find all of the typical things over there, and the BUIDL Hub will continue here during that time. So this isn't going anywhere. We just sort of yes and over there. Then we go to the mountains. We go to Breckenridge, which has been our tradition here for the past 6 years. And we're going to hang out and do a bunch of Colorado things like ski or whatever you can think of that might be Colorado-ish. Now, coming back to the BUIDL Hub, we've got registration up front. We've got the concourse ring. The BUIDL floor, we've got actually 2 stages. Sorry about that. Well, there's really 3. The paddock stage is the 3rd one. And then the paddock is, I just mentioned that. So the paddock is through here. That will have content on it during the week. But the 2 stages here in the main arena are going to be programmed starting tomorrow. So today we have the bounty presentations, which is the primary focus. We really want to put the emphasis on the projects that are incentivizing you to help build on their projects. So this collaborative creativity is really what we're focused on now. All right, so with that, I'm going to hand the microphone off and give my deepest gratitudes to you guys for being here. Kevin, Marek, and Solange are going to come on up. So Camp BUIDL, I'm going to let them explain it, but Camp BUIDL is happening at the CSU campus, at the Spur campus, which is just adjacent to us. There is time to still get involved, but Kevin and Solange are our deans of education, and Solange is one of the co-founders of that effort. She and I were in Paris 3 years ago, and we were like, so many people come to ETHDenver by themselves, and they don't know anybody, and they don't know anything. Like, how do we help with that? So that's where Camp BUIDL was spawned. So I'm going to hand the microphone to these guys and let them tell you a lot more.
Thanks, John. Is there a slide there?
Yeah, you have 3 slides.
Dope.
There's Camp BUIDL right there, and then there's Solange right there.
Cool. Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Kevin Marek. I'm the lead tech steward at ETHDenver. I'm here to introduce Camp BUIDL though. It's kind of been a passion project of ours for multiple years together. It's really a curated curriculum that's delivered by the best of the best in the industry, where you can go and learn and become from like 0 to 1. And it really prepares you with all the skills necessary to really submit a hackathon project. Also to form a team and to really generate ideas. So that's happening up at the Spur, like John said. You can walk directly through the gate to get there. It's not too far of a walk, but feel free to just hop in. Even if you didn't register and you want to check it out, feel free to stop by. There's plenty of room. Not only do we have an engineering track that teaches you all the ins and outs and all the gotchas and everything about how to build on top of this amazing layer, we also have a design and UI track, specifically for people that might not, the coding might be too advanced for them. So there's constantly lectures upstairs, just to really get the baseline of UI and UX principles. Obviously in our industry, we all know that that's something that's really struggling. So if you're on the creative side, please stop in, come hang out, check out one of the workshops. All the schedules are up online if you go to the Camp BUIDL tab on the website. So you can see the lectures, the workshops, but it's meant for you guys, so please feel free to dive in. Let me switch a slide here. Am I going the wrong way? I might be. But yeah, now this is Solange, my good friend, and I'm going to let her talk for a little bit about Camp BUIDL.
So hello everyone. Imagine that you came here and you know nothing related to blockchain, related to Web3, and you'd like to start from 0. And if you saw how they schedule, you can see different talks, but it's hard to go here and over there, and you can be lost. So the idea of Camp BUIDL is that you can go to one place, it's a classroom style, and you can be over there all the days, 4 days, today until Wednesday, and you are learning step by step. You are learning one topic, then the other one, then the other one, and the increasing your difficulty and increasing your acknowledgement. And this is our goal. Over there, you can also start to think about your project, start to think what you are building here, and be a hacker and submit a project. But this is a structured track for beginners. And all of you are welcome, even if you didn't apply it yet. Like Kevin told, you must cross the gate and go to the other side in the CSU Spur building, Hydro building. And this I wait you over there. Thank you. And now let's see what we have now. We have Austin. Austin, where are you?
Here we go. Okay. Yeah, sure. Just go, huh? All good? Pep talk time. Okay. GM, thank you for attending this Sunday service for the Church of Cold Hard Decentralization. Yeah, there we go. There's some love. All right, all right. So I need to do a pep talk here, so I need to be kind of Coach Griff a little bit, kind of like, boys, my vision ain't what it used to be. I can barely see the scoreboard. I can't tell if it's the end of the 4th quarter of this bull run or just getting started. We've been sweating like crazy. We got to get out there and finish this game off. The too long didn't read is that now is the time to build. And I will explain that more. But the too long didn't read of the too long didn't read is that figuring out what to build is actually still very hard. So, what kind of apps need a world computer? What kind of things can you program when you can program money? What does an application store for money apps look like? Well, Ethereum is a lot of things to a lot of different people. Economic security, tamper-proof, credible neutrality, global settlement layer, it's a lot of things. Ethereum is easy to get though. We have this idea at Build Guild where I work, where we're trying to work on something called Start Ethereum that helps people get started with Ethereum. And I've always had this persona in my head that is my cousin, and I'm always thinking of how he would click through things. How do I go about making sure that the UX flow is good for him? And we've been doing this for about a month now, putting together this UX. And the other day, the president's son tweeted something about Ethereum. And that one bullish tweet was enough to get my cousin to call me and ask me, hey, it sounds like this Ethereum thing is something. And all I had to say was the word Coinbase. And he was able to get 10 grand of Ethereum instantly. So Ethereum is easy to get. It's very accessible. People can go to Binance or to Kraken or to Coinbase and they can get ETH. But Ethereum is hard to use. And getting people over the hump of this isn't something that you just hold, this is something that you use is the kind of difficult part. And I think that maybe the Trojan horse could be something like thinking of your savings account. Thinking of something that is safe, that is earning against inflation barely, and giving you a better solution to that. So I would love to see a hacker build a better savings account that's so super easy that even my cousin, who doesn't know anything about using ETH, could YOLO some ETH to an address, and it sits there and earns as much or more as his high interest savings account, and it's basically a stable that's locked up. And when he's ready, he can hit a button and it ejects it back to his receive address. Very, very smooth UX. It's up to you to build. But really, the thing that's gotten product market fit is tokens. Like almost 98% of the product market fit on chain is tokens. And they're like 15 lines of code. Any of you can write them. But they represent so many different things. And I think digging into that a little bit helps us kind of get an understanding for what kinds of things we can put on chain. So you can deploy a token to represent a company. You can deploy a token to represent a content creator. You can deploy a token to represent a frog with a hat sitting on a rock.jpg. Tokens can represent all sorts of things. Tokens can represent $1 worth of treasury bills from the most powerful nation in the world. They can represent the yes likelihood of a flu breaking out globally. They can represent a stable currency, providing safety from badly inflated local currency. Tokens can represent remittances sent home across borders. They can represent a new way of transferring value in emerging markets. Tokens can even represent levered positions on a low-cap shitter. Yeah, there we go. Or they can represent a max extract 30-minute cycle round-tripping enough money to retire your bloodline. Don't do that though, please. Tokens can represent many, many things, and they're actually just stupid, simple code. There's a mapping for what address owns what amount, and there's a function that allows people to transfer that amount between things. It's very, 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 very simple code, and you can write it too. Anyone can write it, and this is basically the small little sliver of product market fit that we have now. Basically, the thing I'm saying is that there is a big pie to be eaten here for anybody who can think of good products that people will actually use and implement them. Anyone with an internet connection and some pocket change can deploy an app on chain that will never go down. Not even they can stop it. Not even a nation state can stop it. Right now we have the combination of AI, GPT, Cursor, and a good starter kit, and a bunch of awesome tools like Foundry or Hardhat, VM or WAGMI or VM and WAGMI or Ethers.js, a whole host of different RPCs or run your own node. There's a diverse set of tooling available along with AI that anybody can basically prompt Cursor and build an app. And it's that simple. Good coders need to speedrun Ethereum, though. You need to figure out what kinds of things. You need to build a lot of things. Build something that has randomness. Build something that has tokens, swaps, vaults. Build a fancy auction. And remember, the auction, your goal is not to make the most money in the auction. Your goal is to make the most efficient auction. The person who makes the most efficient auction that lets both sides of the market work together, coordinate successfully, that's the kind of thing you're trying to build. So go to speedrunethereum.com if you're getting started. Go to buildguild.com if you'd like to, and it's BUIDL, it's spelled all weird. Good luck trying to find BUIDL.com, but that's the website. Super good marketing. And I'll be giving a bunch of talks about Scaffold ETH. And honestly, like the Camp BUIDL stuff, there's so many good projects here. There's so much good curriculum in the space. It's easy to learn. You just have to spend the time learning and building the things. And remember, the Dunning-Kruger is violent in this space. You don't know what you don't know. There's a great ecosystem of so many smart people, but you have to spend some time getting in and learning and getting, into the trenches. So do stuff you love, make friends, ship early, ship often, get feedback, and repeat. So, reasons for optimism, the whole pep talk in the first place. Right at 3 minutes, I'm hitting the reasons for optimism. They're actually really good. Everything is all coming together here. Changes at L1, changes at L2 are leading to scalability that gives us cheap and fast transactions, almost like a Web 2-like experience or better is happening. The pattern of not having to put in your email address at every new product is still sort of failing. Companies out there building products on chain still ask for your email address when you first land. That's an anti-pattern. Please stop doing that. Let me connect my wallet and yeet. Anyways, things are scaling. Things are getting faster and cheaper. We're also getting, at the same time, smart contract wallets and account abstraction. 4337 and 7702 are going to give us things like batch transactions, sponsored transactions, instant onboarding. Ethereum literally at your fingerprint, like at your fingertips. You can have a smart contract wallet, you can have a passkey with a fingerprint, have that solve or settle to a smart contract wallet. Your end user never has to have a private key or a seed phrase. All they're using is the crypto that's built into their phone. They're verifying it with a fingerprint. So anytime they want to buy a coin or take an action on chain, they just go there and they hit the button and they put in their fingerprint, and that's it. Normies can totally do that. It's app season, baby. The infrastructure is ready. The President of the United States just yeeted a coin. The Overton window has shifted and regulation is lightening. They're even freeing the privacy nerds wrongly jailed for writing code. Our culture is looking for a better internet, and it's up to you to build it. There's no barriers to entry. The tools are great, the education is great, the infrastructure is great, and the regulation is lightening. There's no bottleneck here. Smart contract wallet UX might need a little bit of help. It's almost there. The user experience could use a little bit more, but it's basically mainstream. Knowing what to build and ship is the hard part, and that's something that you're going to have to figure out. But look at all the things that currently have product market fit on chain and work backwards from some user's experience to the chain. Don't just hold, go friggin' build. It's time for your war mode arc. As Amin says, it's not us versus them. There is no them. If you have that in your head, you're wrong. It's just us, and we're failing to coordinate. And as Comrade Owaki says, you need to pivot to sense-making and truth-seeking. The ticker is ETH. Go build. Thank you.
Thank you, Austin. We appreciate you, man. If you guys have an opportunity to chat with Austin, he's kind of a scarce resource around here because he's busy biddling most of the time. But he is local. He's one of our favorite builders. And in fact, I'll tell a little story. Austin shows up to ETHDenver 2018 in a suit and a bow tie. And I'm like, who is that guy? And then we crossed paths at ETH Wyoming when his team beat my team by like 0.2 of a point. And I didn't really know him yet until after that. But I was like, man, this guy is going to go do big things. And then the following ETHDenver, we did the burner wallet for the food trucks. So thanks, Austin. Thanks for the pep talk. We appreciate you, man. All right, so we're going to do the BUIDLathon kickoff. So I'm going to bring up my good friend Denver. Where are you at? And team, whoever, come on up, guys. So Denver is he's the co-founder of DevFolio. Has anybody been to ETH India? Patricio, of course. So ETH India is, we really like to think our counterpart in Asia. And these guys do an incredibly good job at hackathons. And honestly, we've struggled some to scale both this big event and the hackathon. One of the things that we set out to do this year was really improve the BUIDLer experience and to really improve the flow, the technology, and just the overall execution of the hackathon, because we are a hackathon first. The main event is the hackathon. We're the only main event globally that looks like a conference. I hate that word. We're at a Community Innovation Festival, if you don't know. But we have some conference-y things, but that's not the point of being here. The BUIDLathon, doing something productive and building something meaningful, expressing your creativity in a way that the community can benefit, that's why we're here. So the rest of it's fun, and we do it, but back to the basics is what we're doing here. So Denver is going to spend a bunch of time talking about the ins and outs and the guts of the hackathon and how it's going to work. And take it away, sir.
All right. Thanks, John. Right. As we get set up, okay, the first thing I'd like to address the elephant, or rather the, spork whale in the room. Denver is actually my real name. Totally organic, 100% grass-fed, non-anon, real name is Denver. It's probably the most easiest name to remember this week. And I'm here to talk about the Buildathon. As John said, the main event. All right, cool. So I'm Denver. I'm the co-founder of DevFolio, your friendly neighborhood hackathon platform. Where I'd like to start off with talking a bit about the Buildathon. So 4 quick things to remember for the Buildathon. As a hacker, Buildathons are a place where you can innovate, right? But that's where you have some constraints. You have 7 days to showcase your potential. And in these 7 days, make sure that you really focus on why you're building. People need to know why you're building what you're building, right? And make sure that whatever you're building resonates with your audience. Remember, clarity is much more important than complexity. Like, nobody's gonna care if you build like 100 mid features, but that one standout feature that you build will make the difference between okay project and a great project. All right, and lastly, remember that you're here to have fun, and in-person hackathons are the best place to build relationships. As they say, your network is actually your net worth. So this is your best place to build your network. All right, next up, some important dates to remember. So we're kicking off the Buildathon today. The check-in started today at 9 a.m. They're going to be open throughout. And the last day to check in here with us is going to be on Wednesday. We are going to have the Build Hub venue open every day from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. MST, except for February 28th, where we're just going to go overnight. Like, we're going to go all wild and give you overnight access to the venue. All right. The application deadline, in case you haven't still put in an application, is February 24th, which is tomorrow. And on March 1st, which is Saturday, 10 a.m. is the project submission deadline. As soon as the project submission deadline, we have an additional parallel sort of judging sort of system that we have put together. So, like, how many of you are familiar with quadratic funding? OK, cool. So this is a simpler version of that. So this is quadratic voting. So basically, if you submit a project, you get 100 votes on the front end, and you can vote for other projects, vote for your, vote for your friends, vote for projects that you really like. And then as long as those votes add up to 100, you'll be able to put up the vote on chain. And then there's 1 million in Spork that will be distributed on the basis of your votes. Right. We will also have team formation and icebreaker sessions every day from today till the 27th at 6 p.m. MST right here. The sponsor judging will take off on March 1st, on Saturday, between 10:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. MST. The track judging, the first phase of the organizer tracks will be from 10:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday. After that, we'll have the second phase on Saturday itself. The finalists get to pitch on the main stage on Sunday between 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. All right, let's get into how these tracks and prizes work. To submit a project and present your project, you must be accepted to attend ETHDenver, and you must be physically checked in at the DevFolio desk by February 28th. You should submit your project before the submission deadline, which is Saturday, March 1st, before 10 a.m. MST. You should also be part of a team. The minimum number of team members is 2, and you can have up to 4 team members. All right, we have 5 official Build-a-thon tracks. So we have DeFi, NFTs, and gaming. We have infrastructure and scalability. We have identity, privacy, and security. We also have impact plus public goods, and DAOs and communities. All right, for the ETHDenver track, you can apply to one of the 5 Build-a-thon tracks, and you can apply to up to 10 sponsor bounties. Remember that the team size, again, is between 2 to 4 members. All right, for the phase 1 of the ETHDenver track judging, just again, the date and time is March 1st. So we'll have 5 tracks, each with 3 judging stations, and the top 10 teams per track advance to phase 2, and we'll announce the results for that by 2:30 p.m. MST. For the phase 2, we'll do that between 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. MST, and the judges will pick the top 3 teams per track. Each winning team gets $5,000 and a main stage showcase opportunity to present on the main stage on March 2nd. The winners for this will be announced at 7:30 p.m. MST on March 1st. Cool. On Sunday, we'll have the top 15 judging. The top 15 finalists will present long format demos. We will also exclusively coach these teams at 9 a.m. MST to refine their pitches and ensure you're you're putting your best leg forward on stage. Each judge, we'll have like celebrity judge pick their favorite projects, and each judge is also going to award a $1,000 cash prize and a special title. All finalists will earn the prestigious ETHDenver finalist designation. All right, let's get you set up on DevFolio. I'll just take a minute to talk about that. So if you're wondering how to get that done, you should be checked in on DevFolio if you're wondering how to do that. If you've received a BUIDLR ticket from ETHDenver.com and you've also RSVP'd on DevFolio, you're done. Nothing else to do. You're automatically checked into the Build-a-thon by the end of the day. If you've checked in on Moongate but haven't yet signed up to build, you can still do so by visiting ETHDenver2025.devfolio.co. You will then be, again, checked in automatically by the end of the day. All right, remember the deadline for checking in physically is February 28th, 10 a.m. MST. All right, and before I sign off, I'd like to showcase one more thing. This year, when you submit your project, you'll notice sort of, we try to make it inconspicuous, but like it's going to be like pretty visible button on your project submission page. So now that is a new product that we are calling Whiplash. Not sure, how many of you have seen the movie? Okay, if any of you have, like, it's on similar lines, it's an AI mentor which helps you build better. Okay, so Whiplash is like our initiative from DevFolio, which we are debuting exclusively for ETHDenver for the very first time. So we've been like hosting like hackathons since a while. Since 2018, we have hosted like over 1,000 hackathons on our platform. And then, after a while, you kind of get jaded watching all of the projects optimizing for just, short-term building. So we wanted to figure out how can we help like every project get to the next level. And for that, something key that we figured out was giving people feedback at the right time. Now, whatever you might think about AI, one thing that it's good at, it's being accessible when you need it. So we have built an AI agent which trawls through the entire internet in real time. It also cross-checks DevFolio, GitHub, and the entire internet to find similar projects and to also give you feedback on what you can build better. So Whiplash is for builders. It's also for judges. We have also integrated into our judging platform. Now every judge will also be able to check in, will be able to better evaluate your projects, checking it across all the projects that are there, all the like protocols or projects that are there on the internet. So we're quite excited to see this in action. Remember that it's in beta, like it might hallucinate here and there, but like hope you forgive it for that. All right, cool. Some last things to keep in mind. Submit your projects in draft early to avoid last-minute rushes before the submission deadline. You can continue editing your projects even after submitting it, but note that once you submit your project in draft, you can't edit your team. Right. For more information, all of this information is available on the BUIDLer's guide. You can check it out on this QR code. And in case you haven't registered already, here's another QR code. Basically goes to ETHDenver 2025.devfolio.co where you can complete your registration. At any point, if you're stuck, feel free to reach out to the DevFolio team. We're all here at hand to help you. So we have Shreya, Aniket, me, Cyril, Ashwin, Kautuk, Preet, Anish, and Vanshika who will be here to help you throughout the weekend. And yeah, with that, we can't wait to see what you build. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Denver. All right, lots to remember, right? How about that new Whiplash? Pretty sick. What I like about it is it's interesting because I'll hear people will have ideas about projects and they'll be like, hey, we should build like a decentralized Uber or something. And it's like, you guys might want to research that. This makes it at your fingertips to do that. Thanks, DevFolio. Thanks, Denver. You guys are great. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you one of our SporkDAO members and also our lead steward on comms and PR, Hannah Oreskovich-Laut. She's been around the ETHDenver community a long time. If you don't know, she was first Vice News, right? 2018, and then we recruited her to come and actually work internally. And then she joined the core team in 2019, joined the board in 2021, and here we are. So here you go, Hannah.
Hey everyone, so excited to have you here. And this week, my job is to really encourage you to engage with all of our social platforms. We want to see what you're building on Twitter, on Discord, on all of our other platforms where you can tag us, you can share, you can reply guy, you can do all of the above. I highly encourage you, especially if you're building, to join our Discord. So that is the SporkDAO Discord. And we have all of help and FAQ, mentorship. That's all available to you in those channels, as well as speaking with sponsors and different community members. So always go there for help. Everything else, we're so excited to see you share. Please hashtag ETHDenver 2025 and BUIDLWeek this week, which is kicking off. We're so excited. I'm actually going to turn it over to one of our community partners. As John Powler has mentioned multiple times, at ETHDenver, we're a community of communities, and so I've been fortunate to be advising a few teams on this front this year, our partners with DevFolio, with the App Global, and then, of course, with Genzio as well. So I'm happy to bring up two members from Genzio here. We've got Zach Nelson, the founder, and then Jason Wilson. They're here to talk to you a little bit about the ETHDenver treasure hunt this year.
Thank you, Hannah. Yeah, super excited to be here. as a founder of Genzio, and this is our 3rd year working with ETHDenver. And I just want to say, I think the branding gets even better every year, which is pretty hard to do because it is so cool. And for us, really working with ETHDenver is all about community, as the event is itself. And as John always says, it's not a conference, it's an event, which I think is a huge importance difference here. And this event is the longest running BUIDLathon community-run festival in Web3. And the reason it's been going on for so many years is because the community who comes always returns, and that makes it really special to work with. And as we see, we have a crowd here. There's also thousands from all over the world tuning in online, which is really amazing to see. So I'm super excited to be working with the team. Hannah, Meltem, John, everybody at the team has just been so fantastic. And if you're watching online, I definitely encourage you to invite your friends to check it out, come to the event. As they mentioned, it's free, which is a huge advantage to really learn. I think for me, I got into Web3 in college, and the first event I went to, and the team was ETHDenver. And the large reason for that was because of the accessibility. If you're a college student, or it's sometimes hard to get into a lot of these companies or find ways to make connections. And I think ETHDenver is that gateway into Web3, which is, again, why it's been so successful. So I just want to thank everybody on the team, everybody who's watching online, and then to introduce our next team member who's going to be speaking more about the Web3 treasure hunt. So here you go, Jason.
Thank you, Zach. Many of you may know, and if you don't, this is your perfect opportunity. Obviously, earlier we talked about our regens that you could choose to be a part of, the heroes of BUIDL City. Now, we want you all to be as incorporated with our community, with the BUIDLathon, as well as with the education that comes with ETHDenver. And to truly fulfill this, we really urge you guys, hop in the Discord, hop on Telegram, but more so than anything, we wanted to let there be a treat for today and for the whole ETHDenver experience. Through our amazing team and through our amazing supporters, we have, utilizing POAP as well as Drip, we will be doing a regen treasure hunt where people will be able to earn up to $3,000 in ETH and up to $600 in merch credits. Anyone who wants to participate through this, please join the Discord, ask about it. We will have all things pinned in the announcements, and the best way to participate is to show up to events. At key events that we will be identifying in the Discord and on the Telegram, you all will be able to be utilizing your phones to listen for a QR code that's going to be generated through audio. Your phones will automatically be able to earn you a POAP to be able to participate in this regen hunt. So I truly, truly wish you guys the best in completing the treasure hunt, and I look forward to seeing you all on the server. Thank you so much, and good luck this week, everyone.
Thank you. Back to John. Yeah, and good luck on the treasure hunt. I mean, somebody's going to win it, so there's some treasure around here. So, and the sound is absolutely incredible. I've never heard of sound generating a QR code, so definitely look into that. It's pretty mind-blowing.
Fun time. So as we always talk about, it's not just a conference, it's a community innovation festival. It's an experience. It's immersive. It's artistic. It's creative. There's cool stuff everywhere. Explore. Engage, too. These guys, as they said, I mean, we've got all these different social channels. It's a little bit much, in my opinion. I might be too old for the whole social game too much. But definitely on X. Discord, of course, to connect. Hook it up. All right, so next is talking about content and how we do this. So I'm going to bring up the lovely Waverly Maven, Danny Osorio. She's also on the board of stewards for ETHDenver and SporkDAO. And she's been a part of the community since very, very early 2018. Yeah, you were with Infura at the time, right? Yeah, so she's been all over the place. She now lives in Denver. Makes a lot of sense that she came here permanently. And we'll talk a little bit about our community strategy. We've always been sensitive to the idea that a lot of conferences are only pay to play. But then you have to balance that with, well, we got sponsors that want to get on stage, so how do we do that? So 50% of our content is merit-based. Is it more this year? How much is it, do you know? So the main weekend is almost 70% merit, which means we're balancing the needs of both the sponsors and the community, yes and. Positive sum games, regenerative outcomes. So with that, I'm going to hand you the mic, Danny, and go for it.
Thank you, thank you. Hey everyone, I am one of your meta stewards on the content team, so very excited to actually be here today. For us, it's really important that ETHDenver stays true to its roots as an event by the community, for the community. It's really important to us that there's a democratic access process and that anyone who is part of the community can apply to participate, can apply to speak, essentially contribute in any way that they'd like. And so we are probably one of the very, very few events out there, definitely the only one of our size, that has a completely open application process for speaking. And we've actually, over the past few years, built a very, very cool decentralized content system. So you'll notice that in a lot of places, a lot of conferences, a lot of those decisions are very centralized. And actually, when it comes to us, we are a collective of over 40 people that puts together the speakers program for ETHDenver. And we intake all applications as they come through. And this year, we received over 2,000 speaker applications. And a person, sometimes two, reads every single one of them. And then from there, we have a process where the expert reviewers will give their opinion and rank a proposal, and then it moves to the next stage, right? And so the idea is that no human can be an expert in everything, and that, it was going to be me or someone else making a decision. Ultimately, we just know the areas that we know, and then we'd be making guesses in other areas. So instead, we bring really extraordinary humans like, Lane Reddick to really think about privacy, or like Greg Mercu to really evaluate infrastructure, right? And so we really think about bringing the people who are at the very top of their category to be the ones who decide, is this a good proposal or not? And is this a merit-based talk that should go forward? And so every year we refine it further and further. We get some incredible help from the team over at YAP PR that helps us PMing the process, which is the process of assigning proposals as they come in to the expert reviewer. And then we work with a team of another 5 meta curators who go in and kind of figure out the final selections and put the program together. So we have some really, really cool talks ready for you this weekend. I recommend looking at the website, looking through the different content pieces. I would say some of the highlights, this being the Year of the Regenerates. David Vorik from Glow is going to be talking about their initiatives with solar panels in India and other countries. You have Jarrell James from Parable talking about building crypto-powered mesh networks to provide internet across Africa and South America. You have Joshua talking about sustainable carbon credits and how crypto markets can actually help offset carbon impact, and then many, many more. I think we have a secret surprise speaker coming for you at the opening ceremony, who is one of the, great technical minds in the space. We're really, really excited to welcome them. I'm going to leave that one as a surprise, but we're so grateful that you're all here, that you're all participating. We love to get your feedback, and we're always excited to hear what you think about our content program. So thanks, everyone.
The work never stops. Thank you, Danny. So what I think is really cool about our content strategy is we get so much surface area covered in topics, breadth and depth of just intellectual genius, quite frankly. And we're able to do it in a way that's very community driven. And the fact that we don't charge for tickets, anybody who's going to do that normally has a big problem because the sponsors want to dominate everything. And then it becomes kind of a shill fest. So we're very proud of our ability to do this. So thanks, Danny. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to introduce our next Pep Talk All-Star BUIDLer, Nader Dabit from ETHDenver. So if you don't know ETHDenver, then you've been living under a rock. And he's going to talk about his tips and his ideas around how to survive and thrive in a hackathon.
Awesome. Thank you for the intro. I just got this scarf and I had it on. I'm just going to take it off for a second here. So, yeah, one of the things that I'm supposed to be doing is kind of like hyping people up. So I'm going to attempt to do that, but I'm kind of winging it. And I'm only going to be here for about 5 minutes, so I'm not going to take too much of your time. So I'm just going to talk about 3 main ideas or topics to kind of hopefully get you excited about the week. First of all, ETHDenver is to me, it was the first blockchain conference I'd ever been to. And every time I come here, so many doors open up for me. Every year, I have so many opportunities, and not just me, pretty much everybody I've talked to. So I feel like this is just such an incredible event. And I guess not just ETHDenver, but I think some of these big events around the world, we get to come here, we get to meet and talk to people that are industry leaders. And everyone here is so accessible. You can literally be standing next to Vitalik or the CEO of some really big successful company, and everyone is just so cool. So I would just encourage people, even if you're an introvert, to go out of your way to talk to people, ask them questions, get their Telegram, connect to them. There's so many doors that will open up for you because you're going to go home and you're going to have questions, and then if you have these people's connections, you can just go and ask them questions. And I think ETHDenver in general just has so many opportunities that go beyond that as well. We're here, we're able to hack, we're able to make money on bounties. There's just so much, there's so many bounties available. So it's a cool opportunity to hack, to learn, to connect, to build, and to go home with some money in our pocket maybe. And I think crypto in general is kind of obviously, and all of us are here because we love it, but it's just so much different, and there's so much potential for outsized impact from any other industry in tech that I've ever worked. I would say AI would probably be another one that is similar at this moment. But if you kind of look at the rest of the software industry, it's kind of stagnating to an extent, in the sense of all of the big software companies are kind of downsizing, they're cutting jobs. If you're just a regular software developer, it's kind of tough times. I know a lot of them, and they're having a lot of challenges. On the other hand, everyone that I know that is deep into crypto, and if you've been working in the blockchain space for a year or two, most of the people I know have opportunities lined up out the door. And I think one of the best ways to get your foot in the door is an event like this, because again, you're going to be meeting these founders, you're going to be making connections. And even if you're not here to start a new company and build something to launch and be a founder, you're going to have so many opportunities to meet with people that you can ultimately work with in the future. And to me, as someone that would like to be a founder at some point, having the opportunity to work alongside all these really smart people is the best way to kind of understand how to be a founder sometimes. So some people have that founder mode in them already. Some people like myself, I feel like I need to learn all these different things before I dive in. But I know they say that you should dive in before you're ready, but it's kind of like a balance, I guess. But there are just a lot of companies that are looking for good people. So if you're looking for a job, my advice is to find the earlier stage companies, because they're growing extremely fast. So a lot of these companies have 10, 20, $50 million in funding, and they're expanding their team. And those are the best teams, in my opinion, to kind of get involved with, because you can recognize the opportunity based on your own thoughts and what you're interested in, and then get in early on a company, and you can often have a lot of opportunities to have equity and things like that as well. So if you're here to be a founder, that's cool, but if you're here to kind of get a job, it's also a good opportunity for that. And then the last thing I'll kind of leave with, Austin Griffith talked about this a little bit. Austin is actually the person that really opened the door to me to get into this space. I remember DMing him and asking him a bunch of questions. He didn't know who I was, and he answered them, and he always was just like really helpful. Anyway, I just wanted to speak on that for a second. But in general, I think like what he was talking about earlier in the sense of there's never been a better time to build in this space, he's completely right. I mean, things have changed so much in the past 4 years since I've been here. The developer experience is so much better. AI can help you write most of your code. You have so many great SDKs for the 50% of the broken UX, in my opinion, was all around the identity piece. Like everything was an EOA and you had to sign stuff and all this stuff. It was a huge barrier to entry for the average person. Now with the more advanced like wallets and SDKs that allow you to implement the stuff like account abstraction with social sign-in and things like that, it removes like the 50% of the biggest challenge in building applications was onboarding the average person and having like a smooth UX. And then we have the other 50% was the whole scalability issue. That hasn't 100% been solved, but we do have a lot of really great networks that have low latency, high throughput, low cost networks. So in general, if you kind of combine the two, you look at all the opportunities there are, like combining crypto with other software primitives like AI, there's just an incredible amount of opportunity today. And there's this idea of like the hedonistic treadmill. Is anyone familiar with the hedonistic treadmill? The hedonistic treadmill is basically like when you get something that you've always wanted, then your mind like basically starts taking it for granted. So like you wanted this next job, you wanted to get into this school, you wanted to achieve this goal, but after you achieve it, that sense of excitement kind of goes away and you kind of move on to the next thing. And that's why people get caught up in this like idea of the rat race where you're never happy, you're always trying to find the next thing and you don't really appreciate what you have. So I think like one thing to just remember, it's like we are here at this moment in this beautiful place with all these amazing people, with all these opportunities. Like embrace that, understand all the opportunity that we have here and how incredible like this is, and just take advantage of it. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm going to be here all week. My team will be here all week. If you want to have questions about building software, my whole team is here with the Eigen team. You don't even have to ask us about EigenLayer. You can ask us about anything. We're happy to help. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, so, oh, not that yet. So we have one more, you could say, expert at BUIDLing. So Nelson Lai is, this year, already 5 hackathons. Is that right? This year. 5 hackathons already this year. He comes from University of Waterloo, he graduated early. And he's going to share a bunch of tips and tricks on how to be successful in a very real-world, real-time way. So if you're looking to understand, like, what are the shortcuts, you know, less about just the inspiration from Austin and Nader, but like the real intricate details, he's going to give you the hacks. So, Nelson, you ready? All right, come on up. And you need to plug in, right? Did it work?
It's not on the screen yet. Okay. So hey everyone, I'm Nelson, and normally hackathons are kind of like the Squid Games. Why I'm out here sharing all my tips and tricks? Well, the thing is, it's a collaborative environment. It's about like having fun and cooperating with others. So we're actually going to go into hackathons for noobs, how to build. So what do you need to actually build successfully at a hackathon? You only need one skill, and that's problem solving. You don't need prior coding experience. You don't need like any special education. All you need is like a desire to solve problems. Because of all the tooling out there right now, being able to problem solve is 95% of the way there. There's a few tools that are very useful for hackathons, and those tools are just like getting to know how to install packages, how to like upload to GitHub. If you don't know how to do this, ChatGPT will have you. So like, don't worry. Like, these are all the only steps you need to know. The process of going through a hackathon is you find a sponsor that you actually want to build on, whose technology seems kind of cool, and then you read their docs to how to get started, and a lot of them will have like an easy guide for having a template. Start there, build the basic one that works, and then make it more advanced from there. And the reason I say that is because you don't want to have like this really big vision and then get stuck halfway and kind of go like, oh, I don't know what to do next. But by having a small working version first, and then iterating from there, you can actually make a really good project and feel like you're accomplishing something along the way as well. As for why hackathons, you can learn new skills, you can see what's out there and like get out of your normal tech stack bubble and explore like different tech stacks. And you can have fun and also get some Chinese food because prize money equals redeemable for Chinese food at restaurants. And now we go into a bit of a live demo. So here's like a quick intro of what you would actually do at hackathon. You make your GitHub repo. Let's just create a new repo right now. Create a new repository, live demo, create, publish. Always keep your code private because in case you publish any private keys, you never want them public. Once it's public for like even 5 seconds, you're gone. So like always keep it private until the last minute. And then let's try looking through the prize list. This is kind of what you do to find like the prize that you actually want to do. Find out details that the sponsors that you want to go for, if you want to win bounties, are like good prize money, but not a lot of competition. And then talk to the actual sponsors themselves to kind of get a leg up on it. But let's just say we want to make like a basic NFT minter on like some L2 sidechain. You can start with like AI. So let's say I just put down this mic for a second while I type. Create a front end for NFT minting. Contract address placeholder is XXX for now. Private key is YYY for now. Make it futuristic and clean. So this actually joins to the front end for you, and then you can kind of use like any other tool you want and be like, let's say ChatGPT it. You can use the free version, by the way. There's like, you don't have to pay for it. Just make a lot of accounts, and you can never run out of quota. NFT contract for this makes the backend contract, and then what you do is just copy this code, put it over into, let's see. And then this you can deploy using any tool of your choice, like Hardhat, or there's like a web-based tool called Remix. Super easy to do. You don't even need how to code. A lot of this, as you can tell, like these Open Zeppelin contracts are just pretty standardized contracts in the Solidity space. They're pre-audited, so you kind of just extend it with like your parameters / inputs. And by this time, our NFT minter is actually already created. This is actually not what we want. We want a pre-existing one. So, but we can just copy the code from here as well. And then we just make some changes, and then we'll actually have that ready as our own NFT minter solution. So let's just call it, sorry, typing with one hand is hard. It's a Next.js app because we're using V0 dev, but from here you can kind of change like all the stuff that you need to change to make it actually work. So let me just do a different chat. Give me a sec. I made this one earlier where we have demo. Let's use this one. So we just have like NFT minter. We copy that code in. And notice that we have a contract that we deploy, this Solidity contract. Once we deploy it on Remix, which is like a web-based Ethereum deployment system, or using Hardhat, you can just replace that contract ID that you get into here. And this is really bad security, but like if you put your private key here, this whole front end will actually make the NFT mint to your address of your choice. Never do this, by the way, but this is just for demo. And in literally like 3 minutes, we have a full NFT minting solution that will look like this. And you have a contract deployed as well. So hackathons are actually not that hard to get started on. There's a variety of tooling, as someone said earlier. The tooling has gotten a lot better since before. Before you would have to like kind of read like the NFTs, how they work, how to write Solidity, how to deploy Solidity, how to use hard hat. But there's a lot of tooling right now that just lets you kind of automate all of that. So pretty much anyone can get started. And the remix site I was talking about was this. So there's like an online IDE. You paste that Solidity contract that you generated into here, and then you actually deploy on-chain to like various testnet environments. And yeah, that's like a basic scaffolding of a project that you can use to like make your own NFTs of whatever. So it's actually not too hard to get started. Some tips and tricks to remember is, one, try to isolate your environment. Sometimes people will try to like say, just install a package and test it out. We'll actually pay you. If they're not an official sponsor, like don't trust them. This laptop's actually just for hackathons. I use nothing on this laptop except for hackathons. So on these wallets, there's only testnet tokens. Does not connect to Discord, does not connect to Telegram. This laptop is just for hackathons, so make sure you stay safe by keeping things secure. Never publish your environment variables onto your GitHub. Those are private keys. Keep them private. And then if someone asks you to do something on your laptop, you can always say no. So like staying safe is the main thing, because I met someone at Hackathon last fall. They published their private wallet key. They got drained in like 10 seconds. So yeah, make sure you stay safe. And that's pretty much all the tooling that you have. I don't work for any of these companies, but yeah, like you can use ChatGPT or Anthropic or DeepSeek just to like any questions you have. It'll actually generate all the code for you. GitHub is kind of standard. You do need a GitHub to upload and compete for the hackathon. Just find out how it works. You don't need to know like all the advanced GitHub stuff like rebase. Just need to know how to like push, merge, add, done. Remix is very useful for smart contracts. I think you need to do smart contracts. Just look for remix.ethereum.org. And then V0, Next.js, that's like a full stack, like pretty much starting a full stack project. That way you can make your front end and your back end. They have their own generator that's really good for starting initially. After it makes your initial project, any editing is probably better with ChatGPT. So yeah, there's all kinds of tools out there. But as you can see, in 4 minutes, we got like a basic app working that was like this, where you click mint, it'll actually call like this contract address, which we would have made on Remix with your private key, and it would have actually mint the contract to you using ETHDenver. So there's lots of toolings out there. Main thing is have fun, get started. The best time to start is yesterday. The second best time to start is today. So thank you very much. That's the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, yeah, feel free to say hi, or ChatGPT will also answer our questions.
Good stuff. Give him a round of applause, guys. This is, this kind of professional hacker stuff just blows my mind. All right, plug in again. Let's do it. So we're going to take it down the home stretch. You guys ready for this? Let's see, did it get on there? Not yet. Yep, nope. Yep. Okay, where's my phone? What did I do with it? So what I'm doing right now is I just posted on X. I'm going to randomly pick from people who like, follow me and ETHDenver, and comment. All 4. Like, follow me, ETHDenver, and comment. I'm going to randomly pick people to upgrade you to Spork Whale status. Now, if you don't know what Spork Whale status is, it's our version of VIP, even though we don't like that term because it's kind of, I don't know, played out. So Spork Whale's where it's at. There's a Spork Whale lounge at the main event hall. There's also things that you get to do if you're a Spork Whale that you don't otherwise get to do. So do that. Now, otherwise, what do I do with my bag here? Okay. So the swag stores. Y'all notice that we have more swag this year? No? Nobody? So I'm going to give away some swag after we're done here. And we have really pretty cashmere scarves. You see these? There's several characters that we have. I've got some Captain Ethereum plushies with me in my bag. And I've also got, oh man, I put it down there. I gave it away. I got some more here. So everybody knows about Sporkdo, yes? Sporkdow. So we've done the gold sporks and we've done the iridescent or rainbow sporks. So this year we have the dark spork. So this is the magical tool that the regenerates use to fight off the degens and to actually build the decentralized future. So if you want these, you got to go up to the swag store and pick them up. But I will be down here for 15 minutes or so after this is done, and I'm going to give away my swag for free until it's gone. So come talk to me, come say hello, and we'll do that. So that's all we've got for kickoff, folks. We appreciate you. We love our community. We're so glad that you're here. We can't wait to hear about your experiences of exploration and where you go and what you do and all the cool things. So let's BUIDL. Kick it off.